Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now, woo.
We're coming. Get our check.
Cheryl, Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
Well, I think it was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed your name. It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips. Let me do your heart. What's happening, good people? How are you guys doing out there? Y'all know who it is, right? It's me, your homegirl, Ladosha, Wright, aka Key Lolo. That's right, Key Lolo, coming to you live and direct right here from my granddaughter's bedroom, aka YouTube room, aka guest room. You know, you name it, you know how it is when you got your house. But no, this is really my granddaughter's bedroom when she comes over when she gets older, because we're gonna be like having some fun time and all that other good stuff. And then right over there in sunny San Diego, California, where I'm lightweight hating. Look at Cheryl got a little messy bun in the sun, and she just glisten with the bling bling and everything. Cheryl Morrow, aka the one and only hair oracle. So, what's happening in that beautiful place called San Diego?
It's raining today.
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. She said it is raining in sunny San Diego, California. I would say, hold on, chat. Wait a minute. Let's give the rain a big round of applause. Give it up for the rain.
Yeah.
Is that called haterism? Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I'm hating on sunny San Diego, California. But if you have never visited San Diego, California, then shame on you, because it is probably one of the most beautiful places in the United States. It's got a lot of culture. It's very sophisticated. It's surrounded by water. It's close to, which part of Mexico is that? Do you know what? Tijuana. I want to go there. I'm on a Mexican. Whoa. Radio. All right, so you get all this culture, so really good food. So go check out San Diego. I want to check out San Diego. Don't worry, I will be there. Don't worry, I love going to San Diego, California. But one thing that I'm really gonna love is this topic that we're gonna have tonight, this evening rather. It's all about CRT remaining a really big problem in the world of natural hair, that is. Now, CRT over here means colorism, racism, and texturism. So this is going to be a podcast discussion, and we are about 151 episodes in here on the dumbest shit that people say about black hair. We are turning on all cylinders. They're all moving right here on Facebook. Then of course we have LinkedIn, and then we have our family over here on YouTube. I see you, LB, in the chat, our virtual co-host, Miss Sandra. I think you're gonna love this. And then of course our peeps over on Instagram. So this the one I'm waiting on. What's going on, National BB? How you doing over there on Instagram? Stick around, guys, because this is one that you just don't want to miss. I'm telling you. So anything that's not necessarily the news, besides them trying to take over the post office, like, what next with this administration?
Damn. Look, boy, we are having a time with this popcorn, baby. We keeping the popcorn machine rolling.
I mean, it is just it's like,
wait a minute though. It's so funny because I don't know, because of course with black people, one black person does, it makes the whole group look bad. Man, Come on, white folks. Come on, our white cousins. Y'all. Woo! Y'all doing some doozies.
Yeah, this is I know I can. Yeah, they keep saying black folks don't y'all. We can't get into it. What's your take on what? Come on, chat. What do you guys think about the push, the encouragement, the actually it's instructions that's telling black folks we better not march, we better not make one poster. We have to sit back and just watch this situation.
Sit down.
Yeah, so let's see. What do you guys think about that situation there? LaWanna help you with your hair. Girl, your hair good. We don't your hair, if it's on your head, you're good. How's that, LaWanna? So Cheryl, what's your take on sit down? Don't do anything. Just watch this situation unfold.
What we gonna do?
What could we do?
What
I think we did. Listen, we didn't die. You know,
Well,
our ancestors been hung, lynched. I don't know. I mean,
we voted.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is okay. So y'all ain't turn back the clock. Okay. So who y'all gonna blame? That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. It's so I will say it's that, you know, it's hard to say it. Oh, what's up, Samantha? I don't want this hard to. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there and say, you know, well, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. All white people not like him. Okay, so we just got to make sure we make that abundantly clear.
I know, but
he's just making it look bad though. For
I know. Wait a minute. I haven't yet to have one of my beautiful white cousins call me up and say, been watching the news. You know I've been watching the news. What you got to say? Click. That's all I get.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where, I mean, all you can do is just read or read whatever you want to say, refamiliarize yourself with American history. And that's what I sit and I watch the history about Benjamin Franklin. What's the other guy name? All of them. I can't. The other one.
It's very fascinating because for them to regurgitate American history, and you're like,
yeah. And because the thing of it is that when you listen to all of the formation, you know, of the history or whatever, I'm just amazed. Like they want to somehow like skirt around slavery, and they just don't want to admit the pivotal role our ancestors, you know, made and did, and the list goes on, you know, in the formation of this nation as they were slaveholders. I mean, if you got a whole workforce that you don't have to give any money to, you making babies that you ain't got to take care of, you're doing all types of crazy stuff, and then, you know, some 500 years later you want to say, well, that ain't got nothing to do with where we're at, not to mention the land that you stole from the people that were already on here. Why? I just don't understand. I mean, I get it, but for us as Black people, it's strange to just sit back. I mean, you watch the fiasco with them with this whole what's that one where they sent over the text messages and they're like, what? Yeah, like what? There were no war instructions, and I mean, it's like, what's wrong? Like, come on, like, what's wrong with y'all? Like,
it's just deny.
Yeah, the whole like no respect.
You already know.
The judge say turn the plane around, and they said, would that be is that a written? Is a written order the same as a verbal order? Everybody in the world know when the judge say you are guilty, you're going to jail. Like, that's a verbal. I mean, I'm like, what's really going on here? You know?
Well, put it this way: would you do it again? Would you do it again? Now that we all know that you guys have been on signal. Now, tomorrow, knowing what you know now, would you do it again?
What?
Well, no.
What?
Well,
Remember the situation room? We don't do that no more.
I know,
Remember
but if not, then you know you did something wrong. Okay, so you did something that you probably would not do again. Okay, what is that?
And they keep saying, "Why y'all
talking too much over this over a unsecured app?" Okay, then that's what we talking about.
And why y'all trying to make a big deal out of it? I'm like, what?
Y'all still talking about Hillary in them damn emails. Y'all still talking about it.
It's very, and then to see black people just go along with this, it's like,
well, that's why I knew at the turn of 2025 that my relationship with black press and black news was going to be a hard one.
Yeah, because they just, I think they scur.
We just act like the shit ain't even there. We just start talking about dumb shit. I'm serious.
Like the dumbest shit people say about black hair. We're talking about CRT. Welcome, Ali Zuri. How are you? Look at WK. Yep. We're going to talk about CRT, not critical race theory. We're talking colorism, racism, and texturism. We are 151.
Oh man, Ali, where are you? I forget where Ali is.
What's the list? Ali. They said, where you at? Let me say, everybody, welcome Ali Zuri. Oh, Ali. Ooh, what's up, senor? You're looking so good. All right, let's give a nice warm welcome. I'm sorry, I'm just a sucker for a fine mother foot plucker. I wasn't gonna say it, dog. Y'all like, stop it, Dosha. What's happening, Mr. Ali? How you doing? We're gonna hop into the topic. And so I see you guys in the chat. How's my brother? He's still hanging in there. He is in good spirits, kind of struggling with his appetite a little bit, but I go over there every day. I just gotta tell you all the story right quick about my brother. Hold on, just give me get into it. So he has an aide that comes and assists him, right? And so the aide was like, my brother was a little salty towards her. So I tried to talk to him, like, oh my words. He was like, nah, she was disrespecting me in my prayer and blah, blah. And I'm like, well, he said, she won't do nothing, no way. I said, well, what is it that she's doing, that maybe I could be doing? Because, this is a hard job. So what can I do for you, brother? What can I do? He need to fix go straighten out his toy collection. I told y'all think I'm joking how he has these G.I. Joe. I just can't get over that story, which is so funny. And so he's still my bossy brother. So he's hanging in there. Thanks for asking. And I'm telling y'all, folks don't believe in prayer, but I'm telling y'all, prayers not only work on an ugly baby, but it also work on a sick brother. Okay. And how do I know about an ugly baby? Because when I was little, this is a true story. This is my family story. I was so ugly as a baby. You got to say, Cheryl, how ugly was you? Okay, let me start off again. So prayers do work, not only for ugly babies, but they do work for sick brothers. Because as a baby, I was so ugly.
How ugly was you?
That my grandmother forbid anybody to take pictures of me. Now, you ugly when. That's a true fact. If you know any elders in my family, they would tell you I was
crazy.
I'm telling y'all now. I'm not talking about everybody else's family, but in my family, we believe it was some ugly babies. Now we didn't think it was no bad children, bad babies, but we believe that some babies was just ugly. Okay, and so but it's okay. It's okay. I can live with
all
that.
All right, we're gonna show our baby pictures one day.
No, I don't have any. I'm telling y'all, there are no baby pictures of me because my grandmother forbid that. And so so this topic tonight, I'm sure my grandmother had a little colorism, racism, and texturism. I'm not Mr. Ali probably like, oh my Lord, what y'all talking about on here? You're from Morocco. Oh, sucky ducky quack. Oh, good Lord.
That's right.
All right, he's from Morocco. The real Moroccan, not the with the 2 R's and the 2 C's and the 3 O's, 3 A's. Yeah. That's that Boosie rubber band Morocco, but the real Morocco. Okay, do I need to come to Morocco to meet you?
He has been an absolutely wonderful colleague of mine. He does beautiful fragrances and products and wonderful over in Morocco.
Oh, over in Morocco. Ooh, okay. I like a little Moroccan. Okay, I like Moroccan. There's a restaurant here in Cleveland called The Standard, and they have some Moroccan infused dishes. Don't ask me to name them, but my son, when he got married, we went there for dinner, and I'm here to tell you, I'm like, oh, that's so fancy. But hey, them Moroccans can throw down now. Don't throw hate on that Moroccan food now. It's blackity, blackity, black. I'm just saying. Okay, it's really, really good, very flavorful, a whole different, not a bunch of lorries, if you know what I'm saying. You know, black people, we love lorries and what's that, Zatarans. You know, the Moroccans, they ain't rocking with none of that. No, they got real herbs and spices. Okay,
wonderful.
Yeah,
spice.
So it was some really, really good food. I know what you're saying. Enrique is harsh, but it's true, you know. So everybody, like some people, everybody ain't cute. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So let's hop into the topic. Our ingredient right now, Cheryl, of the week is hydrolyzed soy protein. Because a lot of people do not like to use protein on their hair. And when you say something is hydrolyzed, I heard somebody just really they ran it down on me about using hydrolyzed products on the hair. And so if you could just briefly talk about what is hydrolyzed, and then also the soy protein. I like soy protein, but a lot of people do not like to use protein on their hair because they say it makes the hair hard and all this other stuff. So just break down the ballistics about what it is to be for an ingredient rather to be hydrolyzed, and then of course what is soy protein. What's up? Yate? I see you. So break it down for us, Cheryl.
Are you guys? That's a serious question.
Yeah, I mean, we got an ingredient of the week. We always got to have an ingredient. So, because people, y'all know what I'm talking about. When you tell people your hair, put a little protein on top, it kind of, coats it and protein make my hair hard. I used to use that placenta and don't use anything that's hydrolyzed. I'm like, what? So, briefly or quickly, or however you want to do it, hydrolyzed, and then your take on soy protein. I like it. If you like soy protein, put a thumbs up in the chat.
And the reason why I am quite baffled by the question is that it's just a product that interacts with water.
I gotta put my lip gloss on that. What you talking about, Willis? No, for real. Now remember now. People, they're on here because they don't know this stuff. And we're talking about the dumbest shit that people say about black hair, like protein, your hair hard. And a lot of people do. I've had people get up out my chair like, you're not putting any protein in my hair. And I'm like, your hair is protein, but I'm gonna leave that alone. But I let them just go ahead on because we can't make them do it. But I have lost customers over protein use. I have no, I don't want protein in my hair. So just run it down, and then we're gonna hop into our.
There's nothing to run down. It's a product, a chemical reaction by way of hydrolysis.
And what is hydrolysis for those who don't know?
It's a process of changing the composition of whatever let's say soybeans. It's just changing it by adding water.
So you take the soybean and you add some water to it and you process it, and it's called hydrolyzed. Okay, so can y'all pipe down? Hydrolyzed protein does not mean it's something cockamamie. It's gonna hurt your hair. You can use hydrolyzed protein.
Use water.
Huh?
They use water.
Y'all use water. I'm gonna repeat after Cheryl because y'all know y'all use water. Sure, like, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
You guys look up what is hydrolyzed. It's a process of changing something or treating something with water.
Now this is one of my favorite. This is I like Philip Pelusi. This is his extreme daily treatment. I love this product. He's not paying me to say this, but he has hydrolyzed protein in there. So you'd be surprised how many products have hydrolyzed protein in it. But don't be afraid of it, okay? That is truly
protein-based product that is treated with water.
Okay. So y'all go ahead on and get your hydrolyzed protein on, and we're gonna hop into the topic, which is all about CRT. Okay, not critical race theory, but colorism, racism, texturism within the natural hair community. I have some really powerful videos to help get this conversation going because this is 25 years into the natural hair movement, and we are really we're taking a deeper dive into this throughout the year of 2025 because that movement has been very influential, and to some people it's been very instrumental. To us, it's just been absolutely the dumbest shit that people say about black hair. So we need to get some people on that need to tell me and Cheryl to shut the hell up. What you think about this, Cheryl? Like, I want to get that African hair. I want to get African hair guy on. Anybody know how to get in touch with him? African hair guy, because he flambasted my booty over. I mean, well, not him per se, but his people.
I don't know exactly of him, but is that the one that was
with the beads in his beard? Yeah. I just want. Sometimes we need some opposition. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, I just want to get into it. You know
well, we're all just trying to make sense of it.
Yeah.
And I just want you guys to make sense of it.
Yeah.
I want.
So if y'all know how to get in touch with him, let me know.
Okay, y'all had 25 years of the dumbest shit, and now we in our 25th. We're going into our 26th. We just want you to make sense of it.
Yeah. So tonight, the topic, we want to make sense about this colorism. So I'm going to show a video
start off with colorism.
because I put this in my little clip that I posted up on YouTube. Is that when it comes to now, all three of them, most black folks, and we all experienced all of these three, the three letters, okay, absolutely. The C, the R, and the T. But I cannot tell you, I will never forget. We had a natural hair convention come through Cleveland, and this is right at the heat of it. Her name was Malika, and she actually owned the natural hair show. She owned that title, So so I was invited to come and present. And so they made me sit on the other end, other table, because my hair was straightened out. And so it was like the Mean Girls. Like, I could not sit with them because I, showed up to her event with this straight hair and I had color in it. And so the reason why she was she didn't come for me per se, but you know what I'm saying, okay?
You felt it.
Well, they was like, when she come, you got to get to the left, because it was like, don't let her see your hair. Now, she might say I ain't had nothing to do with that, but anywho, the people, her tribe, so to speak, was basically like, I was not black enough because I straightened my hair. Now I'm here to tell y'all, I get this all the time. I mean, people will tell me, if you straighten your hair, you don't like yourself. If you color your hair blonde, you're
what's
trying
part of yourself aren't you supposed to be denying or don't like? What part
of it? It's the texture. So when I stretch it, and for sure if I put blonde in it, then and I got makeup on. Y'all know I look like this in real life. So, so I'm real fake out here, my nails ain't natural. I got polish on them, so I'm not earthy, like, I'm not looking like Cheryl got her little natural ponytail, and she ain't got no eyebrows all painted in, and her 20 shades of mascara. So she, so Cheryl would be considered natural, and I would be considered, acculturated, appropriation, all of those things. And so, and I've always found that quite interesting. So if you can relate, you could just drop a me too in the chat if you've had that experience from people within that community where they're really policing your look, and they are attempting to authenticate your blackness. And we definitely see that with biracial children, adoptive children. We had one girl in the salon said the security came over and asked her white adoptive parents, was she bothering them because the way her hair looked and everything? And they were like, that's our daughter. And they were like, oh, my bad. So we're going to start off with colorism, and we're going to play 2 videos. And again, if you have had some experiences, good, better, and different, maybe you get complimented on your twist and your locks. All right, then just go ahead on and drop the me too. And again, 151 episodes in, and this is going to be content heavy. So make sure. So Handcrafted Healing said, I got asked this question as well the other day. I was confused, especially because I'm no hair specialist. She said, so this is really good info. She's curious, or he's curious to know, over here on Instagram. Thank you so much again. We appreciate you guys' support. So yes, we do get asked those questions. Are you black? You know, that kind of stuff. So before I show this clip, Cheryl, what's your take on colorism? That's the first letter, C. And hold on, wait quick. Ali said, "Do you believe natural protein without formal?" We are the first in Morocco producing natural proteins without chemical formal. Well, thank you. All right. No, we did not know that, but we got to have you on the show. Sure, we got to bring him on.
Ali!
Ali, would you mind coming on to our show, our podcast on Thursdays? Let Cheryl know. We would love to have you on. What's up, Selena? So let us know in the chat if you don't mind. I ain't gonna flirt with you, but just enough. You come in on that, that's one of the conversation. But anywho, so Cheryl, take it away. What is your take on colorism? And I want to play the clip after you break it down. We got 3 letters. The first one is C, colorism. Second, racism. Third, texturism. And don't forget, if you've experienced any of this, please drop in the chat. Me too. And Wike and Sandra says, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe.
You know, I did the Curl Academy about 10 years ago. I believe I sent you, and we were breaking down texturism. But you can't talk about texturism without talking about racism. And you can't talk about racism until you talk about colorism. And you really can't talk about any of all of this without talking about classism. And we do have a caste system that started 25 years ago, and that was what we call texturism, right? And so the notion...
So colorism birth texturism? Is that what you're saying?
Well, colorism is a part of racism.
Okay.
They're sisters.
It takes sure to break. Y'all better take some notes, because I ain't going to remember all of them.
Yeah, right. They're sisters, right? And because of this hierarchy in what we believe is authentic, more organic, more fundamental, we begin to say that one is better than the other. Even hair typing is texturism, which is colorism, because we assume that no light-skinned person can have tightly coiled hair. And so light is connected to the colorism, which is connected to the classism, which is connected to the racism. And then we put texturism in there because, of course, if you straighten what we assume is supposed to be at the top of the hierarchy of what blackness is. And here we go again. There is people, let's just say Morocco. Let's just say Ethiopia. Let's just say, Libya. We believe that there is a certain look that represents blackness or Afroness or Africanness.
So where does class fit in? I'm trying to, anybody?
Right. And it's always...
I don't see, because class seems parallel.
No. Classism is now in reverse since the birth of the Y2K natural movement. So now they flipped the class system on top. And now if you're not Afro-ish or Afro-presenting, highly coil presenting, then you are not, you're akin to the flip. You're at the bottom because you're representing what we call classic or classic whiteness. And so once we get together and we talk about all of this and we try to unscramble it, untangle it, and get out of these entanglements that these subgroups create. And we're all just trying to be one African family because that's where we started. And so, you know, in the American machine, in the Western world, we do have all of these little subgroups that create this hierarchy, which is, and let me say this, to me, colorism is class.
All right, so I'm going to play a clip, 2 clips, and you let me know what this fall in. This is very new to me, okay? Classism and colorism, according to the Hair Oracle, it can be synonymous. So here's the first clip on, let's see, does it fall into that category? Here we go.
We ain't got time for games. If you don't want to be African, no problem. Get away from me.
Now, Cheryl has no idea of these clips that I have. And I mean, let me give you a round of applause because that was pretty powerful. I've not heard it put that way before, but as they say out here in these social media streets, make it make sense. Okay, well, there it is. Okay, big round of applause for that one. Okay. So, because when you think of class, you think of like money and power and things of that nature, but you put another twist on this thing called class. So let's go to the second clip. And so this one here is again colorism and hair. Let's see if class can go into this one as well.
This hair is no gooder than this hair. Let's talk about it. As a result of Eurocentric beauty standards, there is a societal preference towards looser curl patterns. This is known as texturism. Now, I have locks, but my hair would be categorized as 4C. My shit is healthy, durable. I done lost my edges a few times. They always came back. Oh, bashata. But I will never be seen as having good hair by those in my community because mine is not wavy or fine enough. Now, thankfully, my mother provided enough positive reinforcement to where I never felt no way about it. Shout out to Tammy. But even as a child, I recall hearing derogatory comments from other Black people about nappy hair. Y'all be posting pictures of your newborn's placenta perm talking about my baby got good hair. The damn child still smells like your uterus and you're already giving it a complex. Texturism is the reason why we have to fight to wear our natural hair in certain spaces.
Ooh. So is there some class in that when she talked about the good hair and that good hair thing? I know y'all like but is this post traumatic, slave syndrome infused in with classism? Because people outside of America, other Africans in the diaspora, they find what we're going through, like this podcast would seem like, why y'all wasting y'all time with that? Mm-hmm. So is all of this unique to Africans in America? No. Y'all, come on, y'all help me out. Pick her brain.
Western power and Western ideologies, they're based on privilege. Now, in order to make that happen, you lower everyone's pheno traits or phenotypical traits or phenotypic traits down to the lowest common denominator. And the lowest common denominator when it comes to phenotypic traits are recessive traits. And because privilege and power go together, when you have power and you pick those features that you say are gorgeous and beautiful, then therefore the people who don't have power, thus privilege, are always trying to get into an easier way of life. And the easier way of life is to have privilege, right? And so when you don't have those features, life is much harder for you. AKA, curly hair wasn't that it was inferior. You just didn't have the tools and the methods to which to treat it. So therefore, you had tools that were akin to the lowest common denominator. So therefore, if your hair could not be beautified with those tools, and of course, those tools where teeth were very close together, brushes, teeth were close together. So they were only conducive to style the weakest, thinnest, softest, straightest hair. That hair is connected to privilege. And so if anybody who doesn't want to have a hard life, you want to be privileged. Therefore, you have a caste system or a class system. And so everyone who had tightly coiled hair, you didn't have the proper combs, you didn't have the proper brushes, you didn't have the proper products and things of that nature, and you really didn't have the knowledge and skill set to do it. Then because you did not have or did not know how to do it, in your mind, psychological trick, it must be bad because the society only furnished tools for this type of hair. You don't have it. You don't have the knowledge of how to take care of it. You don't have anything to that supports it. You don't have anything that makes you feel beautiful and secure. And what I'm basically saying is that these things really don't mean anything. They're not true. It's just that the society in which you live do not support you or do not support those features or do not support. Let's just say we've never saw straight hair and all we had was tools that will accommodate curly hair, like Europe, Asia, Africa, South America, North America. The world used to support only curly hair. It never supported straight hair. Until straight haired people got power and privilege. Then it flipped and now everyone wants to be, but from the 17th century, 18th century, 19th century, 20th century, they all were trying to make straight hair curly.
Right.
And so
and so how are we at it today, where if the reality of it, of course, like you said, was class and power and privilege, which equals class. And then you have people who just didn't have it, but in the language is it doesn't come out like that. It comes out like Ladosha, you just don't like yourself.
Right.
And so instead of the reality is, like you said, well, in this space and time, this is where we're at, and this is how we're trying to compete in the marketplace, blah, 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 blah. It has nothing to do with me not liking myself. So how, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for people off of that school of thought.
Well, here's the thing. If, in other words, what they're saying is, if you're not willing to suffer, then you're not Black. So let's say
anybody agree with that? Yes or no in the chat.
Right. Let's say we only had tools for straight hair. And let's say I like doing my hair. And since the conditions in the environment do not furnish the tools for curly hair, and I adapt my dominant hair to go down and downgrade a couple of notches, and now I have this soft wavy hair because I got a chemical treatment. They're saying because you're not willing to suffer it out and just wear whatever, you don't conform. But if you choose to shift to match your texture to the tools that are available, you have sold out. That's what they're saying.
So are the natural hair people now the new Black elite? Are they using their power and now their privilege to kind of flip the script a little bit? Because now they're saying because natural hair is expensive. I mean, like all the other hairstyles, but Jesus Christ.
It's the reverse of it's texture shaming. It's basically saying that, okay, I'm in Oz. Now you have to remember now, the Y2K movement is it's distinctively very strange and very different from its mother movement of the 1960s, because of course 1960s just wore the hair just like it grew out of your head. I want to make very clear we're not talking about 1960 movement, because the 1960 movement is a lot more forgiving. It's a lot more accepting. It's a lot more flower. Let's make love. Let's not make war. It's really a different type of movement, which produced much more cultural congruency. Y2K is actually very mean and turned on itself. So therefore, it's a lot of texturism within the ranks of Black people. Their mother movement did not do that.
It has an undertone of, they not like us a little bit.
Yeah.
I get the only thing that confuses me about the Y2K natural hair movement is that they do act as if it had not been done before. And that's the thing that just confuses me. It's like, why y'all acting like this is new?
Now you have to remember, while this is one of the things that you have to really point out to Black people as a whole. If you are in pursuit of freedom or wanting to get yourself out of, let's just say, some type of a place where it is a soft place to land, and you want to not be chemically treated, right?
Right.
A hair typing system is the most textured, racist, colorless system ever.
And it's tied to your Black.
Right.
It's tied to your Blackness. That's the other thing that makes it definitely gives it that colonial-esque to it, because it's, it's tied to, the color. So here we're going to conclude each theme with a spiel from Dr. Naeem Akbar. Okay. So you can catch him on Tap Videos. So here's what he has to say about the whole, you ain't Black if you look like Ladosha and not like Cheryl. Okay, here it goes.
My Africanness is not in the clothes I wear. Listen. It's in my thinking, it's in my spirit. And to say to those people who want to use dress and facade as an excuse to deny your Africanness, that you ain't got that excuse. I am sick and tired of that madness of you bringing those superficial definitions of the spiritual essence of African people, reducing it to a dreadlock, some cowrie shells, and some type of long outfit from Ghana. That is not the reality of what we represent.
Okay. And what are your thoughts on that? Because I thought that was very telling and powerful, because that does happen. There is a school of thought that somehow you really are not but so Black when you do this thing, and that's in this new era. And so we got some clarification here. They want to know when you say Y2K, would that be younger people, younger generation? Can you define Y2K naturals?
Right. The turn of the century, 21st century, even though it had started to seed within 1997, and because you guys have to remember, it started with natural products.
Oh.
And that's why Y2K natural, actually, when we actually got into the hair, the big chops, the cutting the relaxer off, and all of that kind of colloquial talk, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it started with being unchemical. That's why we have such a hard time conversing and talking about what is chemical and what is not chemical, because the Y2K movement started with being unchemically treated.
So it's not an age group, it's the year that you're talking about, not necessarily young people. This is
No,
when
I'm not talking about millennials.
okay. All right, there you go, Trish. Okay.
Right, I'm talking about Y2K as the era of 25 years after the market was created, the industry started to develop, the language started talking and creating its own language, the media of it, the social media aspect of it, and when the industry began to react to it. And
Right.
then we went into the Obama era, which is the eco green, when he actually got what we call an eco czar, which was Van Jones at that time, because that was really the start of that. And everybody wanted to turn green, and then everybody wanted to be blue. Everybody wanted to be kind of health conscious. And so that Y2K is based on not Afro-ness of the 1960 movement. It was connected to wanting to be unchemically treated. And so, as I say to them all the time, the Y2K natural hair movement is not about being natural. It's about being non-chemically treated.
Okay.
I think that kind of does something to their brain, because if you think about it, never at one point in time in history did a natural movement try to change the actual curl pattern. So words like curl definition comes into play. High definite. They are trying to get a curl pattern which is Afro in nature, and they try to make it behave and do other things.
Yeah, that just
movement.
yeah, that just what's up? We got Danny, everybody. Let's give Danny. What's up, Danny Michael? That is Las Vegas finest has joined the chat. We miss you. It's so nice to see you. I got to give you a big old-fashioned round of applause. Come on, y'all. Y'all put some hand clap emojis for our brother Danny in the chat. By the way, Danny, I'm getting them teeth for you. Danny, next time you see me, I'm going to have a real smile. So when I shoot my shot, you won't be like, girl, go fix your teeth. Anywho, Daddy, like that girl crazy as all get out. Again, we are 151 episodes in. We're talking about CRT remains a big problem here in the natural hair community, even in the cosmet. It's just in Black folks, period. We're talking not critical race theory, but colorism, racism, and texturism. And Cheryl is doing a good job of breaking it down. And our moderators in the chat said this is a good time for you guys to do this right now. So go ahead on and do this because y'all liking this discussion. So Cheryl, show them what they need to do right now before weekend. And Sandra gonna get y'all. Y'all better do this. Here we go.
Pump me on, pump me on.
Yeah, and so so far within this 151st episode, I am just really I am wowed and in awe of your correlation well, not correlation, but the connection that class or classism is playing out in this situation. So let's move on. So now we got really good on colorism. So now we're gonna move on into racism. All right, so let's get it on into racism. So first of all, what the heck is it? So here's a big stab at it. Here we go.
That's what ism is. If the word ends in ism, ISM, that means it is a practice or a system. For example, when I say capitalism, that ism is there. That is the system and structure of capital that we devise in America. So therefore, the ism in racism means the system of that was created for the purpose of race control. Now, let's be clear. Black people in America created no system to control people by race. God, I'm gonna say that one more time. Black people in America created no systems or practices to classify, categorize people by their race. So
now, do you guys see what we're saying when we say typing hair is racist? Okay, because you're attempting to, and we keep telling you from a professional standpoint, this is the worst thing to do because humans do not like being classified. Even though we say we Black, we proud, and all this, that, and the third, and that's just more like a group think. But when you get into an intimate setting, people want you to talk about their hair as it relates to them personally. Like, don't treat my hair like Oprah. Don't try to do my hair like Ladosha and Cheryl. Talk to me like this is my hair. And so when you're typing hair, you're not going to be able to do that. I promise you. I can tell you, you're going to force it. But you know what that song say? If it don't fit, don't force it. Just relax and let it go. So in the typing, so now that we have that, so here is another take on racism and hair. Here we go.
Nothing screams anti-black like the Dominican hair salon, but my thing is I will always pay for convenience. I do not care. If I have to deal with a little racism here and there, it is what it is. But this is me at the hair salon getting ready to get my hair blown out. I don't straighten my hair that often, but I really wanted to because I have this beautiful red color in my hair, and I haven't seen it straight in over 2 years at this point. So I was really excited to see what it gave, what it looked like, and it was eaten so far. My thing with the salon is, although I'm not Spanish, you could never know if I was a Spanish speaking black person. Like, they were talking so much crap about me in the hair salon. She was saying that my hair was so hard in Spanish. She was telling me, like, talking to her other coworkers, like letting them know how annoyed she was with my hair texture. And screams anti-black.
All right. So there we have what she felt was a racist, experience, and the way in which they were talking about her hair. But she said, number one, she was going because it was cheap. And, she wanted to see what her hair, looked like straightened out. So she was willing to put up with racism. So now this one is really hard because I didn't want to put too much in there on the Crown Act because that's going to come up next week in our because we have a theme this month, which is about the social aspects of this natural hair movement. So that's going to come up next week. But how can one be racist when it comes to hair?
Let me say this. When Europeans, Germans especially, begin to classify humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't so much race than it was genetic superiority. Race is connected to capitalism. It's not, which makes it a system. But race, when we say racist, that's money and economics. It's not people, as so to speak. That's why it's called a race. A race is literally a race for Africa. That's for resources. It was never people.
Wait a minute. Y'all know I got to do it. Look at Trish. Don't do it. I got to. Trish, hold on. Trish, this one for you.
Ain't nobody got time for that. What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah.
I couldn't get to it because you keep messing with my head, Cheryl. Now, break it down to us. Like, you talking about racism is money and
racism
money and power.
The system. It's not people. We using lazy language. We say a person's of another race, but it was only a European race to see who could get more resources out of Africa. That is what, and then whoever gets the most usually was the British Crown and imperialism. So you had French Guyana, you had the British Virgin Island, you had the U.S. Virgin Island. It was a race for resources. Then we used the lazy language and said people are racist, but it was genetic superiority. Then we just started calling people different races, but it didn't. But to understand racism, we have to make sure.
I can see what you're saying because when you look at the history of America, when they formed the term white people, Now we've told y'all what book to get. That's Jacqueline Battalora, and it was the birth of a white nation or something. I'm gonna get the right title right quick. And so in her book, she's telling you, I was like a 16 sometime like that. They invented this term called white. I mean 17 something. They invented this term called white people, and this was during the Bacon's Rebellion. Because now remember they had these colonies. We were not the United States of America then. The European, right? They had these colonies here in America, right? And so you had the Indians and you had the black people. So everybody was together, right? And so the aristocracy was not paying the people in the colony, right? So their representatives over here is like, yo, king so and so, they getting a little bit upset. So what can we do? Because y'all ain't sending no money over to pay them. And they said, well, let's make them white. So they're going to get some privileges that black.
Wait, it's a burglar alarm system.
Right. So there goes the money right there, to your point, that race has more to do with the money and of course the resources. Now I ain't heard that one. I heard the scramble.
Who won?
Yeah.
Who won the race? Let's just say the British won the race.
Yeah, the British definitely won the race.
So the people who won the race for more territory and more in Rhodesia, aka was known as Zimbabwe today, and then you have this place, and then you have India. Everybody is now trying to get territory that's not theirs.
Right.
And then they send ambassadors and diplomats, and it's a system that we still have today, right? And so, but then to just use lazy language, you'll say that the white race, because they won the race. So we'll call them a race, but that was not the language they used at that time.
So when somebody says, why you so happy when your hair is so nappy, that's not being a racist. If somebody says, I'm not going to hire you for this job because I don't like the way your hair is not professional.
It is racist because you now won the race and you have the power. The person that is powerless and now under your jurisdiction cannot be a racist back to you because they didn't win the race. They don't have their resources. They don't have the water. They don't have the air. They don't have the land. They don't have any power. Race is about power and privilege and property.
Did y'all get that? Let me write that down. Race is power, privilege, and property. Now this all new to me. Okay, let me write this down.
So let's just say I own the house, right? I own a halfway house. I'm the owner, right? I have the power to cut the lights off. I have the power to shut the water off. I have the power to lock the doors. I have the power to call the police. The deed's in my name. I have the power.
Now give us the privilege.
So the privilege is that I can throw anyone out. I can make anyone's life miserable. I can make you cold. I can make you hot. I can make you hungry. I can make you starve. I can make you homeless. No one has the power over me to do that. So therefore, the people living under my power don't have, even though they don't like me,
they don't have
the power to be racist. They have the power to be prejudiced. They have the power to be
bigot.
And a bigot, but they don't have the power to be racist because race is about privilege, power, and property. I can be as nasty to them and actually affect everything about their life. They in turn cannot do that to me. They can just be angry and just react. They can march. They can fuss and fight, and they can do.
And they can file lawsuits and.
Can do all that, but I know the judge. I know the police captain. I know the people in power. I know the president. I know that. So my privilege can make, so therefore I am racist because I've won the game of property. I've won the game of resources. I've won the power over the medical, over gasoline and oil and that. You don't have the power to do that to me. So therefore you can only dislike me. You can only hate me. You can't do anything to me. Not really. And so that is what we're talking about. And so when it trickles down into beauty arts with colorism and classism and texturism, right? And things of that nature, the only thing that we're doing is what we call microaggressions.
Oh.
I can only do passive things to you. I can't really do anything to you to affect your life one way or another, but I can throw your ass out. I can fire.
So her experience, when you talked about the lazy language, so her experience in that Dominican salon where she said they, obviously she understood Spanish, they didn't realize that, but they were talking about her hair being nappy and difficult and hard and crunchy. She said that was racist. So was that racist, or did they just like, I just don't like your nappy ass hair?
She had what we call a prejudice. She had a like. She didn't refuse. See, racist is that when I tell you to get your black ass out of my spot.
Oh,
that's racist.
Let me drop the bomb right quick, y'all. Hold on. That was okay. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So racist is get your ass out the spot. Let me drop the bomb right quick, because I was struggling. I know y'all being quiet. Okay.
And at that point, when now that you understand because racism is a business, it's based on power, privilege, and property. When the racist says, well, wait a damn minute. Shit, you about to screw up my damn bottom line. Oh, hell no. Let them come in. Well, at that point, they're saying, well, wait a minute. Sometimes race being racist does not pay. There's a lot of people we need to service with these damn blow dries. So you can be racist all you want to. Your ass better downgrade that shit to a privilege and let them come on in so we can make this money. So that is when you decided to racists begin to let you what? Integrate. Because integration was about economics. It was not because they changed their likes and dislikes for you.
But can I be petty for a minute, y'all? Y'all, can I just be real petty? Because y'all know Kilolo, I have to, okay? Nobody ain't said nothing, so I'm gonna go. They said go on, show what your bad. So let me just give them the hair oracle has speaketh. Yes, she has. So I'm gonna be petty, all right? Because anywho, but don't people have I don't know if right or preference, something like that, to just really just not like nappy hair or just curly hair or just straight hair. Like, I just don't like straight blonde hair. Like, why? I mean, yeah, okay.
Absolutely. Well, let's do it this way, and this is where Black people have to get themselves to. White people were copying you for thousands of years. The issue is that their people didn't turn on their people and say, we're going to stop your privileges and shame you, and we're going to do things and tease you, and then put you in subgroups and say you're being Black. They didn't do that.
Because poor white trash got privilege, in case y'all ain't recognizing this.
If you don't think that racism is about power, privilege, and property, why didn't the self-loathing, though they hated straight hair and they hated the fact that they weren't as clean and they were stinky and all that, even though they desired the hairstyles of the people, wonderful people of color, and the things that they saw, but their people didn't turn on them and say, why are you, they're going to have a straight, stringy hair movement. everybody was coiffing. Everybody was pin curling. Everybody was croquinol. Everybody was doing what we call the hair of the ethos. Everybody wanted that wavy, curly Afro, and they wanted their hair to stand up because height was more desirable than length. And you flip it over in the 21st century, then now Black people desire length and white people still desire height.
Right.
Because height is what we call a mane. Length, when it's straight down, was aching in the 17th, 18th, 19th century as being unclean. Unkept. So the more the white people's hair went this way, the more that they were of elk,
higher echelon,
and the hair was stringy straight down. But
we got you. But I think this was important to know because I'm just talking about me, myself, Kilolo. I would have said that was racist, but today we have learned that when it comes to hair, a person probably not going to be able to, but unless they kick you out of the situation, you just got to, like she said, put that term into perspective as it relates to power, privilege, and property, the 3 P's, okay? Power, privilege, and property. And so we appreciate you for that. But let's hear what Naeem Akbar has to say, because we're calling it racism, we're calling it colorism, all this other good stuff. All right. So here is what Naeem Akbar has to say, and I would say he calls it Negroism. Here you go, Naeem Akbar.
I'm not going to argue with you about what rituals work for you. Whatever stimulates and raises your vibration to a level that you can begin to resonate as a spiritual entity, I consider it legitimate. And it is legitimate. If you can find a spiritual consciousness with a perm, then perm on, baby. What we began with as a tool to move us along, we got stuck in because of our Negroism. And the Negroism started making us more African than thou. Who could get more kente cloth plus square inch? Who could get the longest locks? Who could in fact begin to get, if they start off, who could get the big...
All right. So I think that's what you're kind of saying when it comes to that colorism from within our own community, as he's calling it Negroism. Now, of course, these are clips. Dr. Naeem Akbar has no idea of this podcast. So I just took some of his that presentation and just kind of made it fit into those clips. But it's also matching, what you are saying is that, we're just saying things and not really thinking about how we could use a better choice of words to really hone in our point, especially when we feel like, we've been wronged or violated or whatever we want to call it. We could do a little bit better. And in this next video, this lady says this is something that we need to talk about, is this downgrading of hair, this moving of what Ladosha is doing to hair, that somehow I feel you, Dr. Naeem Akbar, but Ladosha, she still ain't blackity black. So let's move this conversation on a little bit more. So here we go. Texturism on the rise. Here we go.
I love you, Black women, and I love a 40-inch bust down moment. And I might get a blowout, you know what I mean, in a little bit. But I think we need to be more conscious of the reasons why we do these things. And a lot of times, you hear those black misogyny podcasts. They're always like, you're in your hair hats. You got your fucking weaves and your wigs and da-da-da. And they say it with a lot of hate. And they're doing it to attack Black women's choices. But I don't want to attack. I just think we need to have the conversation that these things are wrapped up in anti-Blackness. And you can say, like, now I'm hearing a lot of actually it's anti-Black to hate wigs. It's anti-black.
Right. It's very interesting.
It's
very interesting.
Yeah, wigs and weaves are black culture.
Very.
Sure, but so are ham hocks.
Right.
Doesn't mean we need to eat them every day.
Right.
It's time to unpack that.
Interesting.
It's time to think about it and unpack that. And it's time for us to stop denying that texturism is a thing, because it has killed people.
Right.
Like we have records of the deaths.
Yeah.
So let's not act like it's just it's a fake thing, black people. It's something that we really need to talk about. It's something that we really need to unpack.
Hey, so she said we got to unpack Ladosha and her straightening this hair, because it is, in her opinion, my image is, I'm struggling with my blackness, or she didn't say African, she said black. And that we just got to talk about. So before you get into it, how many people feel like we really got to explain ourselves when it comes to this thing called hair? And so let's answer that question. And Cheryl, take it off, take it away. We got one more, guys. Got a couple more. Hang in there with us. This is good.
We have yet, as a beauty industry, regardless of where we are, and I'm talking about the whole gamut. Those who naturally cultural style and natural hair and natural products and no chemical treated, and our classic cosmetologists and barbers. I don't think that we truly yes.
I think that Money Buddha. Okay, come on through, cousin.
I don't think that blackness is not African.
Okay.
And then we have the other word, Afro centric. That is not African. But African is not on top either. It's not the top of the sea. Once again, it doesn't belong in a hierarchy. Mm-hmm. And I think that because of the lack of language and because when she says we have to have a conversation, she's not talking about a conversation as in the sake of having a dialogue so we can untangle ourselves. She's saying that she needs more definitions, and she needs more to understand what more side you're
on. Really?
Because blackness is blackness, Afro is Afro, and then African is African. Everyone on the planet is African.
Facts.
Okay. So she's not talking about that. We have to admit, all of us who wants to talk about this conversation, we cannot have it without having it in a way that there's an opposite on the other side. And we are only going to see and talk about the reflection as if racism and these other social illnesses are real. I'm letting you know they're not real. They are things they're mechanisms. They're not realities, if that makes sense.
I'm struggling. Anybody else struggling? So you so deep. I mean, you got it when you say they're mechanisms, they're not realities.
Right.
I mean, if somebody like
racism doesn't exist. That's
what Donald Trump keeps saying. Racism doesn't exist in America.
Well, he's true. He's right. Racism. Right. Let's just say if I were to tell a white person, oh, by the way, white person, race doesn't exist. What they're gonna ask me after that, well, then what is this thing that we're having a problem with? And I'm going to say, you took my shit. And you want me to think it's in the air and the water. So let me just say this.
So let me just slow down a little bit, because me and Sandra, we over here. And some of us in the chat, so what you're saying is that we say racist, it's kind of like giving them an excuse to not really address the real situation at hand. Is that what you're saying?
Well, let's just say you never came over past the meridian because you thought the world was flat, and you thought that meridian across that ocean line, your ass was going to fall off. African was looking at you like,
what you talking about, Willis?
Right. And so if you would have never done that, and you would have kept your shit in Europe and I would have kept my shit, then where's the racism? Just, we need to understand that racism is a smokescreen for something else. All these isms are a smokescreen for something else. They're just mechanisms. They make the final thing that everyone's really the issue. They just want to make you talk about the mechanisms and not the reality. It's capitalism. It's capitalism. Case in point, you say a black person dislikes you. Okay.
Well, I'm scooting up to my computer, y'all. I want to hear this.
And a white person says, they look at you like this. I think we can sell that. Nigger hair tobacco. It's gonna make us millions. Okay, so if they're racist or they're prejudiced or they don't like you, then they would be what? Repulsed by you. They're not repulsed by you. They don't dislike you. That is to make you understand that they want complete access to you forever. That's what they're saying to you. And once you understand that, if you take capitalism out of everything, then there's no, because you have to understand, flip in the history book to 17th century, turn to the flip into 18th century. They look just like you. They got hair just like you. They make their Greek statues have this curly hair that you know damn well they did not have. But yet, it's about the appropriation of your stuff. And so underneath it all, when I say that when I look at a black person who has straight hair, what is it about that repulses me? That's the question that she needs to ask. What is it about that's going to hurt? Whatever system that the Y2K was trying to do, what is one black person with straight hair? What is it about that seems to kind of trigger and make somewhat the conversation of her blackness more, less, or unauthentic? What is it about that makes that make you so unsure of yourself? And we have to start asking those questions because, of course.
And so you're saying if we don't ask that question and we talk about race, then we're missing the opportunity.
I agree with Trish. Her question, her comment is, she doesn't want to talk about.
I think what she wanted to talk about is the altering of the hair. Why? Because she feels that when you alter it, you are out of your.
She's assuming the altering is not an adornment, that it's a political statement in the ideology and philosophy, and she's dead wrong. That is just a way that we kind of process our pain and experience of being in a Western whiteness. Because we don't have any power. And the only thing we can do is have power over our lips, features, and skin and hair. And since hair is mutable, she is saying, why don't we join and have one national hairstyle so that we can show power? But she doesn't realize that there's no power in restriction, in compression, and oppression. There's only power in choice. Yeah.
Ooh, hold on, y'all. I gotta do this right quick on now. Wait a minute. Hold on, Trish. Wait a minute, Money Buddha. Where is it? Here it go, right there.
Stop. Hammer time.
That was a hammer time moment. Okay. All right. Because that video was very impactful. Okay. We got 10 more minutes. We're doing good here. Okay. So we get you, Cheryl. Okay. But something about this locked hair. And so here we go. The locked hair is saying, you know what? It's y'all the ones with the problem because look what she got to deal with.
This is your reminder to lock your hair or keep your hair locked, whatever. Like, are you kidding me? I can't even tell you, I cannot explain the level of freedom that is in this. Vacation tomorrow? Okay. I gotta go into the store real quick. Okay. Got a party tomorrow? Okay. Do you want to go to dinner later? Okay. My hair is done. It's been done. It's always done. It's going to be done. Period. Yeah.
That part. Okay, so that's one.
That's
Okay.
a very peculiar video.
Okay, all right. Hold on. One more now. One more. This is the last one. And it's about to get real. It's about to get thick. Here we go. All the naturalistas. 151 episodes in. CRT remains a big problem. We're talking about colorism, racism, and the last one we're into is texturism. Here we go.
So it has been said that the micro lock and sister lock advent has taken over the natural hair community and has surpassed the relaxer and wig/weave movement. So my question is, have we come over into the natural community with the same mentality that we had when we were relaxed and or wearing wigs and weaves? As you can see, the sister here is getting her micro locks or sister locks flat ironed. So I have two questions. Number one, is there a potential that this can cause long-term damage to your locks? Number two, what are you trying to achieve by doing this? Are you trying to achieve a look that you could have achieved even just by leaving your hair as a loose natural? So if you have micro or sister locks, definitely comment below. I'm definitely interested in hearing your perspective on this.
Okay.
I had to get these some juicy ones right here, sir. They woo, I mean, that's she said a whole lot. I should have took some notes, but I was enthralled. How's that, Money Buddhist? You said linguistics, semantics. I was enthralled.
Yeah.
So she's saying, are we taking these because they don't see locks as a hairstyle? You do understand that, first and foremost. I don't know why they don't consider locks a hairstyle.
What do you mean?
They just don't. They just, I should have got a clip on that, but that is a school of thought that locks are not.
Okay, then what are locks then?
I don't know. Anybody here a lock person? Can you guys explain that? Do you share that sentiment? Please let me know. Lawana, what is your question? Farrakhan, was he being racist when he called black hair a curse? I'm not familiar with him saying that. Was he being racist? Sure, if he did in fact say that.
He was being ignorant.
Oh, okay. There you go, Lawana. We're just gonna take that.
Good old-fashioned ignorant. I have experience with Mr. Farrakhan. Good old-fashioned ignorant.
Okay. Sorry, Farrakhan. No, sorry, Farrakhan, but
he gets most things. He gets most things correct, but that one he needs to stay his ass out.
Okay.
Of hair. Yeah.
All right. Come on, Minister Farrakhan. Just pipe down a little bit. So they don't consider locks a hairstyle. And we were on the other podcast. Has anybody ever heard of that, where they don't consider locks a actual hair style?
What do they consider it?
I couldn't. I did not upload the video on what they said it was, but they don't consider it a hairstyle. If my memory serves me correct, it's more like a lifestyle instead of hair, because of, I don't know. I'm reaching here, but I should have. I will play it.
The lifestyle of Rastafarians.
I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna, for next week, I'll have the video where they say locks are not a hairstyle. But so here we go into texturism, where it's still this battle of, she put a flat iron on those micro locks, and now she's taking this act of what you would do to relaxed or straight hair, and you would do this.
Her issue is heat.
Oh.
The issue is heat. Now, let me just go back to the first one you showed. I want you to look, and I look at body language because I have to in terms of consultation. But when she said, first of all, I don't get the convincing. I don't know why natural hair people are what we call they seem like they act like it's a new evangelical movement. And they try to kind of convince you that somehow now, but I want you to understand, because if I were to get her into a consultation, I want to know, if I were to ask her, what if I enjoy doing my hair every day? What if I like touching it and redoing it and fashioning it in so many different ways? She juxtaposed her argument as, you don't have to do your hair as a term of convenience. So locks is actually a way for you to, what they call a protective hairstyle. Now, you know that you're not protecting the hair in and of itself. So you know you're not doing that. So what are you protecting? You are protecting yourself from the psychological aspect of being dissatisfied. By the time that young lady has gotten to wherever she has ended up, and she finally found what she calls freedom. Now she's saying, you don't have to do anything to it. And that's not really where you want to be, because that to me is not about adornment. That's a matter of a hairstyle that you can see, because no one is more obsessed with white girl backbone, shoulder length hair than a person trying to grab onto their Afrocentricity through length. So I don't understand that obsession. No one's more obsessed with hair length than natural hair Black people.
Ooh, they just
they are obsessed with it.
They are, I mean, I hear you, Trish, in the chat about, low maintenance and things of that nature, but hair just requires
low maintenance. I know, but low maintenance as compared to what?
Right. That's what I'm just
compared to what? If you don't have the skills and the enjoyment of doing your hair in ways that other women do, then just say that you need a low maintenance. You need that. But that is not akin to anything African.
Or natural.
But natural is just, everybody's hair is natural. Everybody's hair is natural. I don't give a shit who you are. Everybody's hair is natural.
But she's saying that, and compared to other styles, it's a style.
Right, but she didn't say that. She is making I'm just basically saying she could have been saying that, Trish.
Right.
You're absolutely right. But she is saying it with her face, like, this is a no-brainer, you guys. I mean, like,
I don't know what's Ladosha gonna be up there. She can't get in the water. Oh, yes, the hell I can. Ladosha gonna take all day. Oh no, it don't. To Cheryl's point. I mean, we have 3 principles when it comes to hair care and hairstyling: the right products, the right tools, and the right techniques. Everything else is bullfraggle paganaco. So, you if you got that, like Cheryl said at the top of the hour or an hour and a half ago, is that because we didn't have these things when we came here, that we was like, we was behind the 8 ball, so to speak. But once you got your tools and once you know what you're doing and you know how to do it, ain't that no problem. I think the biggest issue, like Cheryl was saying, which I thought that was just powerful, the way you kind of pointed that out. And we're not saying people do locks for that reason, but in that example, I could see where you kind of correlated that her inability, or maybe she didn't want to be bothered with the hair. She thought the locks was, doing something or whatever, but locks are just require just as much maintenance as any other hairstyle. I don't know why they act like, I mean, that's probably in the hair salon, that the locks and the free form, people that just want to, what they call it, natural and unbothered. Oh, they're the most very confused and conflicted, because they get the locks under the notion that I don't have to do that much to it. Yes, you do. Because if you don't break the locks up, the little tendril codes or whatever you call them, it's gonna mat up. And then you gotta, so they think these locks are low. They put them on these children's hair, and they let the hair just go. They don't realize what children are doing, and so they're very confused about it as a hairstyle and what it requires, and which the same applies for the natural and unbothered. Where they just taper the sides and they let the top just go. They're very confused because they think that these styles are little to or low.
They're starting to make them lifestyles in terms of not in disavowing themselves from the everyday touching and the adorning and beauty process of themselves, including the grooming and hygiene process, which is one of Africa's most, I think, dwelling traits to be, and that's the gift of in the skill of adornment.
Mm-hmm.
It's a spiritual maintenance and a social maintenance, and it just feeds into our social experience, our health and well-being experience.
Right.
So I don't understand the locking away of it.
Right. Yeah. And thank you, Trish. Yeah, she. Yeah, there are no such. There's no hairstylist. No, even if you cut it off,
yeah,
you still got to go back and get it cut off. Yeah. Even when you straighten your hair, at some point it's dirty. You got to wash. You got to straighten it back out. So there are no.
Trish.
Yeah, we can play around, with these words and semantics because we got to make money, right, Cheryl? So we got to come up with stuff like silk press and doobie wraps and sister locks. We got to sell it to you. You know what I'm saying? But understand, you have to take care of it. So thank you.
And I think one of the most important aspects of even natural hair care styles wanting to obtain licensure is for them to understand how important heat is in natural styling. And of course they vilified it for the last 25 years.
Yeah, because they said they questioned if that heat was going to do what? Damage her locks, like you said.
And so
because I don't know why. Like
let's say what is more natural? Heat or oil?
Okay. While y'all hitting that like button, Cheryl said, which one is more natural, heat or oil? And as you guys are responding, I would like to thank everybody on Instagram is on fire. How you guys doing over there? Y'all rocking it out with us. And again, thank you, LinkedIn. And of course, YouTube. Y'all always down. Facebook is in the heezy. So we appreciate all this support. So the question again is, which one is more natural, heat or oil? What ye say? Which one is more natural? Okay. So it was just a question. So the flat iron is damaging the shed hair that makes up the lock. Are you going to take the lock down? I'm just asking. No, the flat iron is not going to do anything to that lock except soften it.
Well, here we go.
It ain't gonna damage it.
Let me rephrase the question. And let me start by saying the flat iron is just the purveyor of the heat. Now, get the flat iron out of the equation because she wasn't insinuating that the flat iron in and of itself, because last 25 years, heat has been an enemy. So my point is, when they applied the heat to the lock, her brain immediately said damage. Now, she can't explain how it would be damaging.
No.
Because heat and keratin protein, heat heals. Protein loves heat.
Love it.
Keratin loves heat. Okay. Now, her process of her 25-year Y2K brain is still confusing her. Something about heat and locks but she can't articulate it. She doesn't know what's going to happen, or she didn't explain herself, or she can't explain herself.
She can't.
That's what I'm asking the alchemical process of what heat is. Now, y'all love steam.
You took it out of my. I was gonna say it.
Y'all love steam. I'm asking you, heat in water, steam, heat in air, heat. What is it about heat that you guys can point to that would cause a damage?
I'll wait. But you asked what was more natural. We got two questions. This is getting juicy now. Okay, two questions. The first one was what's more natural, heat or oil?
Mm-hmm.
And the second is what is it about heat that damages hair? This is gonna be good. Okay, so people, so far the chat is saying oil is natural. Oil says oil is natural. Selena AG says heat is more natural than oil. Okay,
so we know if we were to go through the
wait, let's see what Instagram, because Instagram on fire. Hold on, let's see if Instagram.
No problem.
Hold on, so hold your pennies right quick, okay?
Hold the panties.
Hold on. Okay, what's going on? Oh, we on fire over here. Okay, don't be scared. Come on now, Instagram. Don't be scared. They like, we're going to be crickets over here. It's okay, Instagram. So what's up, Janice? Latifa, I see you. A whole bunch of people over here. They might be a little bit nervous, but it's a little delay. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna, the first one is which one is more natural, heat or oil? So survey says oil is more natural than heat. We have one person that says heat is more natural than oil, and then we do have and explain how heat damages hair. Okay, take it away, Cheryl.
Okay, and the reason why I asked that question, so in terms of heat or oil, as is there more cures, healing processes, well-being things that we can attach to oil?
Yeah, I think we can.
Okay, what?
When it comes to oil, like if you got dry skin, lips, you can, it kind of soothes the crackness or
it lubricates.
Lubricate.
Okay,
doesn't
so
moisturize. Okay, lubricate. So
lubricates.
Oil lubricates. I'm stretching here, y'all. I'm only on.
Does the human body use heat more or oil more?
Oh, Selena. Cheryl, come on, y'all. Hit that thumbs up button. Sandra, Shirley's a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
Right? You need heat to use weight. You need heat to get your aerobics. You need heat to sweat. Heat and water. And what I'm saying is that when we teach here, chemistry in an Afrocentric way, we change the term to alchemy, because that's how you guys will understand water, matter, heat, and air. So heat and air is heat. Air and fire is heat. Right? So you need something hot and you need wind. And that's what we call heat. A fire in motion in a medium called air gives you heat. I'm asking you which was much more useful in the environment, oil or heat?
So, yeah.
But what I'm saying to you is, how did we become to vilify heat in the natural world? You guys are so natural. How did heat become a villain and oil become a friend and heat became a foe? How did that happen? Now, can we say we were miseducated? Can we just agree on that?
Now, Trish is saying, but if you apply too much heat, you will damage the hair.
Well, too much oil, we already know what happens to when we get that, right? So we're not talking about the extremes. What we're talking about, because of course we don't like oil spills. We don't like oil when it comes out of the earth. We don't like that. Oil is quite destructive. In fact, environment can't take a lot of oil, right? That's why God didn't put oil on the earth. It put oil in the earth. Didn't put it on the earth. Put it in.
And Trish, what I say to that is that it's not. It says if you apply heat that is too hot, it will damage the hair. I would blame that on the person because the heat, like, well, I ain't got nothing to do
I'm
with
not
that.
but just in and of itself, right? We are talking about it in the element, not in its use, not in its overuse, not in its underuse. We're trying to talk about the elements, and I need you guys to focus and don't go and see. And that is one of the reasons why mineral oil got a bad name, heat got a bad name, alkaline got a bad name, because pH and all these things get a bad name because we are using them wrong. Okay, and so that is one of the things that we try to say. Don't say the dumbest shit, right?
Right. Yeah, because if you use it wrong, yeah, that's kind of not fair. I mean,
well, we just want to talk about the elements of it. I mean, and Trish, I get it. I really understand what you're talking about. I knew somebody was going to go there, but I tried to not to ignore it. But when we're professionals and when we're practitioners, we are not talking about, because of course the right usage of an essential oil could very well be good, but we already know that essential oils are corrosive. Oils are corrosive. Petros are corrosive. All of them are corrosive. They're not healthy when they're sitting on top of the planet. Oils are meant to be inside. They have a different type of mechanism that is supposed for us to extract the nutritional value of them. But, and you can say that for all elements, but I was talking about the element in and of themselves.
Mm-hmm. We got you. We got you. Okay.
And
all right. So
as professionals, we gotta come on now. Stay at that professional level. Yeah.
And for you guys that are consumers, this is why we say the dumbest shit, because people will take that and conflate it. And like Cheryl said, they're playing more like with the psyche in your mind, because when you look at the science of it, you know, heat does some spectacular things, you know, to and for hair. So as we wrap this up, here is what Dr. Naeem Akbar has to say, well, in my response to her question, both of them, is this whole conflict. All right. Why are we having this conflict in this conversation about CRT, colorism, racism, and texturism? Why is this a continued problem and we still don't have a resolve? So here's what the response is. Here it is.
No problems with the accoutrements of culture. No problems with that. The accoutrements of culture are valuable, important, symbolic, giving internal signals to the subliminal representation of a certain recognition of our inner being, which is reflected in terms of the outer expression of what cultural symbolism may happen to be. That's cute. But it is no more than an intended catalyst for an inner birth. So we have been engaged in a conflict over costumes. We've got a major production here to change the world, and we're engaged in conflict over costume.
That's
and even more profoundly said, over custom and rituals and ceremony and chosen tribal expression, when the mother has given us such enough of everything, gave me enough.
We have so much that we could do. This is why we're really advocating for this Afro hair science, so that we can, you know, move the needle and we can be able to, as we like to say in our industry, is meet the demands behind the chair, because this is an industry that has so much, you know, income earning potential, so much creative expression, but we're just this conflict over costume. We have just, you know, we got to put that to an end because he went into the, it's a catalyst to bring you up as you address yourself, your spirit, and how you adorn it. It's just all up to you. We got a lot more that we could be doing, but the conflict, and that's what colorism, racism, texturism, and like Cheryl said, a custom. It's the conflict that we just have to we're missing our mark. And what we're doing here on this podcast is saying, no more. It's the dumbest shit that people say about Black hair.
It is.
It is. Now that was a powerful ending. What do you think about that one, Cheryl?
Oh yeah. And I know.
She said she went to the stylist that used too much heat and it caused damage, and that is part of the fear of stylists using heat on hair. People do need to know and learn how to use heat and not be afraid. Absolutely.
And then and you know who learns that first before hairstylists learn? We all learn that. What did your mother and grandmother and aunties tell you?
I don't know. I liken it to ironing clothes, but anywho.
When you cook, stay your ass in the kitchen. Stop cooking in your ass.
Get on the phone, Yeah.
So we always learn how to use heat prep properly, but we don't say we are going to start eating raw food. You've never said that. You learned how to temper and to cook. You don't curse the fire. You curse the ignorance. Curse the lack of education. You curse what you didn't learn. Bad technique, bad cooking, bad technique. You don't curse the heat because the heat didn't do anything.
That's why I said it's always going to be the technician, guys.
Yeah.
When they say, "Oh, the heat damaged my hair," well, come on now.
We don't say, when I burn some food, you guys make that shit the person's problem.
She can't cook. He burned the ribs. You don't say the heat messed up my ribs.
You don't say that. And we need to and that's maybe the conversation that she is talking about, the one that had the Afro, whatever she had going on. We have to make sure, and I think Trish is correct. What conversation was she actually saying that we needed to have? Mm-hmm. Are we going to have a nuanced, a new age, a new one, think things through, having critical analysis, as Dr. Amos Wilson asks us to? Are we going to self-improve and then we're going to improve our mechanisms and techniques and methods and applications? Are we going to do that? What are we going to be dialoguing about in terms of improving and taking Black hair care into the new age? What are we going to be talking about? And so, right, we don't curse the wind when something happens, in nature, because of course that would make it's natural, right? We would be talking about different things. We have been given dominion over the planet. So we've got to start using the critical analysis.
Right. And the Money Buddha put that word in the chat where she said linguistics. Yeah, it's sometimes it's wordplay, it's semantics and all of this, that, and the third. But our goal tonight, is for you guys to walk away understanding that truly the dumbest shit, that people say about Black hair is just this whole notion of, just trying to, control you and how you want to make it look and all this other stuff. It's all good. Because like he said, we don't need the conflict over costumes. And as Cheryl said, custom. So we don't need the conflict over costumes and culture. I mean, yeah. So let's not go there. Let's not do that. It's time to move the needle. And we feel that Afro hair science is one way. And I'm sure you guys got some ways too. Okay. So don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. We're going to be back next week. Now this month, This is the month of April that we are entering into. And so we're going to be talking about the role of what did I say? The social. Hold on, let me get my little notes right quick. Hold on, y'all. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, the social aspects of natural hair. So we're starting it off already with racism, texturism, colorism. And so we will be back next Monday, and we're going to be talking about it as a political statement. So we'll get a little bit more into the Crown Act and what they meant by locks wasn't a style. And so, yeah, this was a lot of information flowing tonight. So before you walk out the door, Sandra said, could you guys be so kind? Cheryl's going to show you what you need to do because you guys enjoyed this podcast for sure. So here we go. Hit it, Cheryl.
Pampa me on, pampa me on.
Y'all, and then y'all held out the whole time. We appreciate you all. If you are new to the channel, now is a good time to subscribe. I think we're about like 170 people away from hitting our 3,000 mark. So now is the time to, go ahead on and share this channel with some wonderful people because the discourse is always wonderful. And we're going to be back here on Wednesday, not Thursday, with Auntie Dr. Joy, right? So Dr. Joy is going to be with us on Wednesday, and we're going to do the same time at 9 o'clock. And so in case you guys don't know, who is that? Who's Auntie Dr. Joy? She is our resident wellness and nutrition expert. And so she's going to be joining us on Wednesday. This time again, we're going to be here on Wednesday at 9 o'clock. So this month is going to be busy for us, Cheryl, as you know. So, anyway, and by the way, I got to say it again. I know my brother's probably watching from, hey, Mo.
Hey, Mo.
Yeah, so thank you guys for the prayers for my brother. They are helping, and I appreciate all the love. He appreciates all the love. And so thank you so very much, Sandra and Wike, everybody in the chat. We're talking about Lawana. Trish, you was on fire tonight. We got two babes over in Canada, our Canadian sisters. The Money Buddha, we hope you come back and rock it out with us. You definitely brought some insight, into the chat. Danny, it was nice to see you again. Everybody, it's a lot of people that was rocking it out with us over on Instagram. So we appreciate that. And Mr. Ali, we're gonna invite you on. Sure, can we get Mr. Ali on from Morocco?
We're gonna try.
All right, we're gonna see if we can get him on because he was cute too. But Danny, I got my teeth fixed for you. So when I see you the next time, you won't be like, girl, go fix your teeth. All right. Okay, sure. How are you gonna close us out tonight with this this CRT, this critical, no, not critical race theory, guys. Colorism, racism, and texturism.
Wow. And I just want to thank everybody's feedback. I will say this. I know that it is easier said than done. I know that we have a lot of momentum on what we don't do, what we haven't done, what we need to be doing. I know we've got a lot of pain, a lot of mistreatment, a lot of disappointment, a lot of understandings and misinformation and disinformation. And I know we're trying to traverse through all of that. But I would ask if we can just leave a little corner in our heart and mind, leave the space open, right? Just for another perspective. And maybe that little corner, light will fill that corner. And then we can see and say, maybe we can do this differently. Maybe we can see it differently. And once that happens, we will be able to see that our ancestors did leave it open. There is a moment for us to look back and reflect of what we've done and what is behind us, and what we can pull forward. Let's pull forward. And culture allows us to be critical, and the things that don't need to move forward, we leave them behind.
Right.
We at least need to be able to start in a place to where we understand that to bite off Africa, to bite off that world, it's the first world, not the third world. It's the first world. Let's start where we are. And And hopefully we can get to a consensus that allows us, because if we don't, we're going to leave the assets on the table, and other races of people are going to take those assets, sell it back to us, and then your ass going to be really mad. So
I'll be really mad. Don't do it. Don't do it. Now, if you love this content, then, again, hit that thumbs up button. But you want more, then don't forget to check out Yate Keaton over on Real Root here on YouTube. She's also on LinkedIn. I mean, she's on Facebook and she is on Instagram. So there are other wonderful people who have wonderful school of thoughts. And so her particular podcast is for female barbers and so much more. I listened to it last night, so she was really, really good. So please go. Yeah, so Yate's podcast is definitely it's fire, it's good, it's great for the community, and you also get to hear wonderful schools of thoughts. And I see you over there, Valicia. She rocks it out with the pseudo killers. I love the pseudo killers. So you can also check them out there right here over on YouTube as well. And so we will be back on on Wednesday. That's the day after tomorrow, Wednesday at 9:00 with Dr. Joy Scott.
We're going to talk about that microbiome.
Microbiome. I don't know what that sounds like a dance. Microbiome.
With all of the germs that hairstylists and natural hair providers and estheticians and barbers we're exposed to.
Oh, you mean that yeast? That yeast on the scalp? Oh, I got to keep that video back. Okay, I got to bring that video back.
And
okay,
we're going to talk about how to really, because everyone's taking antibiotics, you can get immune to that stuff. We want great immune systems.
All right, so that's what's happening on Wednesday at 9:00 with the illustrious Dr. Joy Scott. All right, sure. You know what we say when we're signing out, right? We're talking about a whole lot of peace, a whole lot of love, and for sure, Sandra, a whole lot of hair. But check it out. If you ain't got it, you don't want it. You can't stand it. You got some bald spots and some patches, hell, whatever it is. You know what we say? Don't worry about none of that. After tonight, y'all got to know, right? We got to stop having that conflict over costumes and culture, all right? Okay, because all that is beautiful too, and so are you. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, and subscribe on your way out. We appreciate ya. Cheryl, you ready for the chit chat tonight?
I'm ready.
Bam, bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now,
We're coming. Get our check.
Cheryl, Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
It was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed you. Hey! It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips.